Let's take a look at the team news. Such is Everton's squad depth these days. They can voluntarily do without their top scorer Yakubu, punished for his late return from African action. His fellow Nigerian Joe Yobo has made it in plenty of time and replaces the injured Leighton Baines in a reshuffled back four. Tim Cahill only returned from international duty in Australia yesterday, but he's okay to start, while the troubled Andy van der Meijden is among the substitutes. Reading make two changes, one enforced as Eva Ingemarsen is suspended. Ibrahim Sonko replaces him after African nations duty with Senegal, although he didn't play there. While John Oster, a former Everton starlet, returns to Goodison Park on the right of midfield. Leroy Lita makes way as Steve Coppell switches back to 4-4-2. Everton started the day in fourth place in the Barclays Premier League. Reading start the day fourth from bottom. Two teams with very different agendas, and a win for both vital, but Everton start this one, Joe Royle, as massive favourites.
Yes indeed, they played very, very well at Blackburn last week without getting the win that they needed and possibly deserved. Steve Coppell thinks that their future in this division will be decided by their defensive performances between now and the end of the season. This is a big test for them today, Daniel.
Reading making progress early here in a free kick opportunity, which John Oster, former Everton player, a familiar face in these parts, over it along with Sonko, Hunt and Shorey.
You know, sometimes the difference from season to season can be one player, and you wonder the loss of Sidwell, how it's affected them. Not only the individual Sidwell, but the partnership with Harper. They were an excellent pair in midfield together.
Well, it will be Hunt to have a go. He got a deflection, and Howard just about kept it in his grasp there.
Certainly a good strike. I haven't seen that from Hunt before, but he's hit it exceptionally well. Slight deflection, as you say, with the sun in his eyes there. Howard's got down well to make a first-minute save.
Warming of the hands for the Everton goalkeeper. The first of what he will hope will not be too many tests for him this afternoon. Off the back of a succession of goalless draws with Blackburn and with Tottenham. In truth, since the turn of the year, Everton have not found chances easy to come by at home. Didn't create too much against Spurs in the goalless draw. The same could be said of their victory over Manchester City, which in the second half was largely a rearguard action.
But the statistic you gave out before, their two defeats against the two top sides, tells you where they are and where they are not only in the league but in standing, because they're right up there now behind the best sides down there. And I'm sure that Davy Moyes thinks, he hasn't admitted it, but they've got a very strong chance for fourth place.
Plenty of Everton players, particularly Johnson, talking about the need to find that cutting edge again. Well, they found it at Blackburn, but the officials didn't agree. That's Carsley sinned against.
I've got to say in the officials' defence that first time to see it was very hard to see as well, and they don't have the benefit of replay.
Ball in by Arteta, it's Johnson fighting for it, and Murty getting it away.
Well, nearly fell for Andy Johnson, who's in good form. His overall play is terrific. He works for the team, he gives them options, he runs in behind, just needs that goal.
This is Fernandez. David Moyes glad to have him back in the fold, having attempted to get him in August. Thought it was a done deal. Carsley doing his typical unfussy job in the centre of midfield. A free kick going Reading's way. Kevin Doyle, the victim this time, moving back into his preferred striking role, having played out wide against Bolton last week.
Well, he's been one of the finds of recent seasons, Daniel. He's probably only his third season in the league as such.
This is Shorey, can he dig it out? Hunt looking to rise, and in the end it was Kitson who got on the end of it.
Well, that was a great chance, well worked by Reading. got to the byline. You see a great cross in here, I'm sure, from Shuri. You've got to keep it down.
It's Oster. He's got himself away from Cahill. This is Kitson. Yobo across to tidy up. Warm welcome back for Joseph Yobo. Quite the same was extended to his compatriot, it's fair to say, this week. This is Johnson. Can he fashion a shooting chance? Well, Hanneman Town's warm for the first time today.
Yes, good incisive passing from Everton. Arteta playing Johnson in here on Sonko's shoulder. Sonko holds him up and he cuts him inside on his favoured right foot, but good save from Hanneman. Comfortable save.
Both goalkeepers with some employment now. Howard having to claw that one off the goal line, the free kick from Hunt. Hanneman with his first business of the day.
Mark Halsey waiting to see what happened there. A late tackle from Kitson. Not malicious, just missed time. Striker's tackle. Still a word in his ear.
Everton taking their time to get going, but maybe we are starting to see some signs that they are going to do that. Jagielka to deliver towards Lescott. He's got the beatings of Oster again. He'll deliver the cross this time. Carsley. And he'll be penalised for the challenge on Hunt, who's a little unhappy with his fellow Irish international.
Well, he isn't happy at all, and certainly Hunt has been involved in one or two incidents himself with tackles, and he's feeling a little bit aggrieved. Carsley's walked away, not even looking at it. Hunt feeling the wrath of the Everton faithful here. Still not happy about it. He's miscontrolled the ball. Carsley, and well, he's gone in high, to be fair. Hunt has every right to be aggrieved.
Well, it's a challenge that won't be all too unfamiliar to Stephen Hunt, let's say. Certainly he was absolutely spitting feathers there at Lee Carsley.
The next tackle will be interesting, Daniel. Between them two others.
International teammates, but not exactly the best of buddies at the moment. Maybe that little flashpoint is perhaps what the game needs.
Certainly the highlight of the game so far.
Up goes Lescott again to beat Kitson to it. This is Murty. He's certainly got the crowd going at last. Oster is offside. And that was welcome to charitably by the Everton fans.
Sometimes there's a script written that he is offside here. You'll see as it's headed on.
Doyle against 3. In the end, no reward for it. He had a terrific season last year with 13 goals in the Premier League for Reading. He's backed himself 5 so far this season.
Well, that second season syndrome has caught the players individually as well as the team, and I don't know why. You can't put your finger on it, whether it's that extra enthusiasm, the wonder of it all in the first year, but the second season's hard.
Made a big play of the 6 home games that they've got remaining. That's where they have managed to rack up what results they have got, really.
But you know, Daniel, what I've seen of Reading up to now this season, and what I've seen of them today, I think they are above some of the struggling sides down there. And there are a lot of big clubs in there. You know, as you said, Stephen thinks there's 8 clubs involved in the relegation battle. Well, maybe 7, because it's going to be very hard for Derby to. They need loads of fishes at this stage.
Moyes and Andy Holden, the team down in the Everton bench these days since Irvin's departure to Preston.
Well, they're both great football men, and they were both uncompromising centre halves. I had Taffy, particularly Andy Holden at Oldham, and he was as hard and as strong as they come, believe me.
Well, Oster to take this corner. Sonko and Cisse have gone up there. Sonko coming to the near post. It won't reach either of them. Osman stooping to conquer, probably the smallest man in there. Oster back in, it's dangerous. That's a foul on Jagielka by Doyle.
Well, it's a silly foul to give away. There's danger while the ball's in the box, and all managers, all coaches say the same thing. Don't give fouls away in their box. It's an easy cop-out.
Johnson to Cahill. Phil Neville for Everton. Hunt and Shorey have clearly identified the real task for them this afternoon is to try and shackle Mikel Arteta.
And between them at the moment, they're doing a great job. They're keeping Arteta quiet, and there's no doubt he is the icing on the cake for Everton. When Everton are playing well and he's at it, he makes them so much more, not only easy on the eye, but much more incisive. And at the moment, he can't get into the game, Mikel.
He was schooled really he began at Barcelona at Paris Saint-Germain, where there were a couple of not bad creative players there. JJ Okocha and Ronaldinho were contemporaries of his at the time. I'm sure he would have picked up a thing or two.
There's no rhythm to the game, and there's no outstanding player at the moment, and that suits Stevie Coppell. He's quite happy with it being messy and fouls and throw-ins. He just doesn't want Everton to settle and play as they can, as they have been playing.
And certainly, although Everton haven't found the spark creatively so far today, Reading still have an almighty task to break them down. Their defensive record has been excellent. 8 clean sheets in 11. In total contrast to Reading's performances at the back of late this season. Here's Oster. Matiowski's touch, Kitson.
Well, as you say, defensively they've been fine, and with Alan Stubbs being allowed to leave on deadline day, David Moyes very confident in the defensive hand he has.
Joe returning to add further strength to a back line that hasn't done badly at all without him. This is Phil Neville. 500 club appearances last week. Farrell scrap down there. Mark Halsey saw nothing wrong. Matiowski coming out with it. And now Kitson. Now Murty with some space to roam. Harper. Matiowski. Shorey. Matiowski fancies a crack. It's not a worry for Tim Howard.
Well, both sides at the moment are doing all the messy bits of the game. They're all pressing, closing, stopping crosses, but nobody's really playing. And you see here a little spell of passing from Reading ends in a harmless shot wide, and that's all that's happening in the game at the moment. Everybody's stopping everybody else playing. There's nobody winning a personal battle on the pitch.
Certainly it shouldn't be forgotten how high the stakes are for both teams in this match. This is Arteta. Not up to his usual standards, to say the very least.
Again, I mean, he has so much quality. His crossing is normally exceptional, and that's just totally out of character.
It's certainly unlike him.
Second half's always better, you know. Promise.
Kitson the target again, and he got there. He did bring about the ire of a lot of people with his comments regarding the FA Cup this season. I understand Reading's approach to it, even though it may upset the hardened traditionalists. But the money that's at stake, the fact that they are looking to develop further still their stadium complex as well, and we'll need the money for that. As Howard has a hairy moment. Survival is everything. Howard has survived that unscathed.
Well, Kitson is holding his head because he took his eye completely off the ball. He accepted that Howard was going to lump it down the field, and had he watched where it was going, it would almost have hit him and gone in.
A bit of an escape for Everton. Johnson unable to get hold of it. Harper. He's going to be penalised there. Tim Cahill for the challenge.
Well, a little late arriving, and Mark Halsey waited to see whether there was any advantage to gain. There wasn't. Quite rightly brings play back for a Reading free kick. You see Cahill there's made no contact at all with the ball.
Well, some Wenger will frown, but James Harper's pre-match routine probably won't curry favour with him. He loves a good old fry-up before a game and isn't the same player without it, apparently. This is Kitson. Matiowski trying to get there. It's bouncing about awkwardly around the Everton box. Matiowski on the turn. Can Doyle get there? Oster will. Another Reading corner.
Well, certainly Reading on top of the moment, not by any great degree, and good work here. And you see the ball comes through to Oster, deflected off Lescott as he stops the cross, closes down quickly. Another corner for Reading.
And Sonko and Cisse once again adding their considerable presence to this, while Matiowski and Harper wait for the scraps on the edge of the box. Stephen Hunt to deliver. Lescott with a dominant header. Murty back into the danger zone. Not much danger for Howard there. Now Neville. And Everton up the tempo here and make something happen. It's Fernandez. Lescott may still be able to pick up the pieces here and got there first. But John Oster able to shackle his attempts.
Well, good defending by Oster there against the much bigger Lescott, who's already got to the byline once by brushing him aside, so give the little fella credit there. Kept his head and defended well.
Reading not exactly full of urgency at the moment.
Now they've taken the sting out the game. They've had their little half opportunities. You know, when you're down there struggling, the first goal is even more important than it is for top sides. Top sides can take going behind and come back. When you're in a bad run 60 feet in a row, you've got to get that first goal.
Well, any goal would be welcome for Reading. They've only scored once in the last 5 games. Call the closest so far for all of Everton's efforts. There's only been one tame shot for Hanneman to save from Johnson, and a corner to be punched away. The American hasn't been overemployed. Carsley to win it back. Matiowski to return the compliment. For a moment it was 4-on-3 for Reading.
And how Davy Moyes must be cursing Yakubu at the moment. He's let him down badly. David Moyes paid a lot of money for him, showed great faith in him early on in the season, Daniel, when he wasn't doing much at all, and he's let him down. Because he is a goal scorer. He's not necessarily always a fluent footballer, but he only needs one chance.
It has, I think it's probably fair to say, been the question mark down the years about his attitude. Everton battling, hunting impacts to win it back. It's Johnson who will win a corner.
Well, that's got the crowd going in the far end. The park end, as you say, it's been very quiet up there up to now. There's been very few opportunities. Everton send the big men forward.
Jagielka, Lescott, Yobo, Cahill, Osman and Johnson all in the box. But it's Kitson who meets it. He'll drop for Fernandez, who can hit him. But a pinball breaks out. And Arteta again not quite finding his range with the pass intended for Osman.
Well, Fernandez had to hit the volley. It was a great opportunity for him. He's a good striker of the ball. As soon as the ball bounced, he was pounced upon and the chance had gone.
Osman away from Harper. And now Cahill! Well, Everton's best opportunity, really.
Yes, it was a hard chance. I think that Osman wasn't particularly good in his delivery. He's done terrifically well here, the kid. He's turned in the box, lost his marker, but he's given him a bouncing bomb to deal with. And had he just rolled it along the floor, you never know. But that's a hard chance for Tim Cahill.
We'll call out Barnes Wallace, would we? Well, Tim Cahill, no signs of jet lag, it's fair to say.
There's no sign of the Everton bursting the Reading Dam at the moment.
This is Oster. And Lescott for company. Couldn't find the delivery this time. Some encouraging signs from Oster. He's certainly contributed today.
We are scraping the barrel for encouragement now, aren't we? It was a poor cross. Two Reading centre-halves have been excellent. You know, they've only had the single striker to deal with, but they've won their headers, they've defended well, they've cleared the box. I know the defensive coach, Wally Downs, works hard on that side of it, getting them out the box, and you know, it hasn't been working for them recently, but he'll be delighted with the centre-halves in the first half.
It's not too familiar a partnership. Cisse only really establishing himself in the side in recent weeks. And Sonko's been away for much of that time. This is Osman. Johnson. Perfect time to get a goal just before the break. Cross evades everyone.
And good defending by Murty at the far post, cushioning the ball back to his goalkeeper. They're immediately on the break now, Reading.
Harper. Kitson looking for Doyle and finding. Needs a bit of support. This is Hunt. Whipped it in. Too high for Kitson.
Well, it was, but he was their only player in the box. It was going to be a long shot for him to win the cross on his own. I think John Oster feeling a little bit of a knock, or maybe having a breather in midfield. Should have been round the back. Should have been joining in.
It's Murty. Maciejowski to help it on. Yobo helped Kitson to the ground there, he did. Mark Hulsey again waiting for what developed.
Well, nice to say, I don't think the referee's put a foot wrong up to now. Yobo is definitely feeling into Kitson's back.
There'll be a minimum of 2 minutes of added time.
So we don't want the officials to be the headline makers this week.
I think we've got to start giving them a break. I do.
Well, Hunter's already troubled Howard with one effort, which was deflected, to be fair. We go one better this time. Shorey and Oster also there. Here's Oster this time! Well, on his return to Goodison Park, comes close to recording what would have been only his second Premier League goal.
As you say, three experts gathered round the ball, and it's dipping, but always too late. I think the dive by Howard has just proven that he knows where it was going. I think it was always going to be comfortably over the bar.
Oster only scored at Middlesbrough last season in Reading colours in the Premier League. That was 9.5 years after he recorded one for Everton in the top league.
I'm sure the respective managers will be giving totally different team talks at half-time.
Cahill stabbing it here for Johnson. Cisse for company. Johnson wrestling to get possession back. Arteta. Lescott was coming in, and Murty made sure it didn't reach him.
Well, good defending there by Graham Murty at the far post. Very experienced defender. Mikel Arteta making his way over now.
The dying embers of this first half. Breakthrough hasn't looked too likely from an Everton point of view. The attacking play they've produced so far. And Cahill is in there! And that was almost a trademark Tim Cahill goal.
He is exceptional in the air for not the biggest, and he gets in front of the goalkeeper. The centre halves here, but just nods it over the bar. Certainly encouragement for Davy Moyes at half-time.
Well, as close as Everton have come just before the break there from Tim Cahill after his arduous week in Australia. Things haven't really got going for them. Reading have mounted one or two scares for Everton at the other end, but chances at a premium here. Half-time, it's Everton 0, Reading 0. Back to Goodison Park for a second half which could be significant in the fortunes of both of these clubs in the race to reach Champions League football in Everton's case, and the race to stay in the Premier League for Reading. And we're going to see an Everton change at the start of this second half. Manuel Fernandes departing and James Vaughan coming on to add a bit of attacking presence up there alongside Andy Johnson.
Well, Vaughan's lively, puts himself about, good pace about him and a decent goal record. He came on at Blackburn and made an instant impact last week, and certainly Fernandes can have no qualms about being taken off if it is purely tactical, because he along with everybody else really had an insignificant first half.
Certainly the quotient of goal action needs to be up, certainly from Everton's point of view in this second half, but Reading will be more than happy with the way things have developed so far. Certainly a point at Goodison Park would be a decent return for them, as Kitson has a wild effort.
They started the second half the way they started the first half, with the first shot. Kitson muscles Carsley out the way and slices wide, but the intention's there. As you say, Steve Coppell will just be saying more of the same. Take your time over things, no rush, take the sting out the game.
This is certainly on Everton to try and change the pattern of this match. Came close just before the break. Tim Cahill heading over. Certainly they need to be of more concern to Marcus Hanneman than Tim Howard, the pair of American goalkeepers on display here at Goodison Park today. Johnson hoping for something there, but Hanneman quite comfortable, as he has been really all afternoon.
Both American keepers are very capable as well, and it's certainly the most successful position that the American football has produced. You look along with Brad Friedel as well, Casey Keller. No shortage of American goalkeepers around.
I know Hanneman certainly attributes that to their schooling in basketball as a young age. Certainly helps matters.
Well, they always say to be a goalkeeper you've got to be slightly crazy. Perhaps that helps as well.
Johnson didn't get there. Free kick didn't go the way of Everton, as the support was certainly hoping. This is Arteta. Level up with him. It's deflected. Vaughan looking to cause Cisse a problem. It's an awkward bouncing ball. Will come out for Carsley, who can hit them. Won't trouble Hanneman this time.
Well, the goal-mouth action getting the fans at it here. Carsley on his weaker foot has kept it low, but Hanneman very comfortable, just watches it go wide.
He did get a great goal at the Gladys Street end late on against Birmingham City earlier in the season.
Overall, Lee Carsley's had a good season, been doing very well. Sits in the anchor role in front of the back four, lets Arteta go and play. Cahill get forward, Osman go and play.
Away from Goodison Park, something of an unsung hero, but he's been a massive part in David Moyes' era Everton. Although he was a Walter Smith signing, it shouldn't be forgotten.
I think he's one of those players that managers know and respect and have in their team, and fans don't always see, though, Daniel.
That's got up, but it'll fall for Hunt here. Between them, Neville and Carsley, who's renewing something of a feud. Some of the danger out, and then Howard as well. Hunt does like to be at the centre of the action, to say the very least.
Well, he does, and he had right hissy fit first half, and being restrained by his teammates from getting himself in much hotter water than he did as he was with the referee, because I'm sure he had violence on his mind.
He was pictured in the programme today dressed as the Grim Reaper. He was cast as the bogeyman as far as Reading were concerned. He was at the Medeski, to be fair, with the only goal of that game back in August. Reading searching for their first Premier League double. I'm sure they'll be happy to escape here, having ended that run of 6 defeats in a row. Shorey's throw. Hunt with an ambitious effort, won't receive any reward.
But you can see why he did it, though. The ball was bouncing nicely for him. There was very little support where he was. He may as well hook it, go and have a go for a wonder goal. He's showing there what he meant. He wanted to dip the ball.
Just signed a new deal, Stephen Hunt, vital figure. Something. The figure on the periphery at the start of last season anyway, but he's missed only one game this. Towards Vaughan. Hasn't been able to get into the game since his half-time arrival. Away by Shorey. This is Kitson. It's only Doyle up with him. Jagielka secure in his defending.
Yeah, good pace from Jagielka there. Saw the danger, got across with Doyle. Reading keep playing the balls down the sidelines, down the channels as they call them, and taking their throw-ins, taking their corners when they can get them.
Cisse is not going to find a Reading body. Now Vaughan, the first chance for him to get on his bike, really. Sonko for company here. He's got the beatings of him. Cahill and Johnson up! And it escapes both of them.
Well, young James Vaughan has certainly stirred things up. He's gone to the corner, he's waltzed past Sonko. He's looked up, he can see the forwards going, he's played a great ball. Both Cahill and Johnson couldn't get to it. Everton's best chance so far. And great play by James Vaughan. Substitution work already for David Moyes.
Well, that's the role in which he's been deployed by and large this season. He's only started one game, that ill-fated afternoon here against Oldham in the FA Cup. This is Shorey. Hunt. He touched to Kitson. Blocked by Jagielka again. Arteta. This is Neville. Letting it run across him, but safely back to Hanneman.
A much different test for the two Reading centre-halves who had to deal with Andy Johnson on his own first half. They now have twin strikers to deal with. A lot more thought, a lot more togetherness required.
Johnson. Harper's foot in. Johnson hungry enough to get it back. Sure, he won that fairly, but Arteta is still on the ground. He's made his way back to his feet now, but at some cost. He can shrug that off fairly swiftly. Shorey's ball in. Cisse Matyjowski. Lescott picking that one off before it could reach John Oster. Trying to switch defence into attack.
And Matyjowski there gave the ball away, and hard to remember him in the game before he gave the ball away. He's certainly been very quiet so far.
Osman. He's given away a free kick there, Matyjowski, whose major contribution on his full debut against Bolton was to concede a penalty.
And again, it's a silly trip. It's pointless. It's danger. There was a defender there dealing with the danger, and he's given his teammates a problem to deal with here.
It's about time we saw a quality delivery from Mikel Arteta in this match. Usually so reliable in that sense. Held away by Harper.
That was your fault. Now, the game has little to commend it at the moment. We can only hope for an open conclusion and a goal, at least in the rest of this half. But certainly underwhelming at the moment.
I feel if Everton do get that goal, it's fizzed in by Lescott again, and unable to hold on. But if Everton do get that goal, then it will be possibly good night Reading. The way their confidence must be at the moment, it must be pretty fragile with 6 defeats in a row.
And our first goal again is so important at any level.
Reading on the move. And John Oster making his way over to deliver here.
Two Reading giant centre halves on their way into the box. Cisse and Sonko.
Sonko dueling with Lescott, Cahill with Cisse. It's away by Lee Carsley though. Goes Yobo. This is Shorey. Into Doyle. Makes the shooting space. Unable to direct it on the target.
Well, again, as most efforts in the game, it's wide. He's trying the right thing. He's worked the ball onto his favoured right foot, Kevin Doyle, but missed the target.
It's no goal in 9 for Kevin Doyle. His last one was against Merseyside opposition. Victory over Liverpool at the Medeski back at the beginning of December. Certainly the highlight of Reading's season so far. This is Hunt. Doyle. Harper looking to get there, but didn't have much chance in the end.
Good play from Reading, good football, worked the ball through, and when they needed a good touch and a good feel for the ball from Doyle, it wasn't there.
This is John Oster. Certainly plenty of frustration for his former club at the moment. Reading have displayed themselves in the opening hour or so, approaching that now. This is Doyle. Again awry of the target, but more enterprising play from Reading.
Again, it's the finishing, it's the hardest thing in the game to put the ball in the net, but Doyle's come in on his weaker foot here. And really, he might even be looking for other options. There's James Harper square of him for a shot on target, but as I say, Reading showing a little bit of ambition around the box there.
And Harper up there, he's the only Reading player to have scored this calendar year in the Premier League. Goal at Villa in defeat. This is Shorey. Oster arriving, and he'll take the corner off the head of Arteta.
A good crossfield ball from Shorey. And Arteta's done what he has to do. He doesn't know who's behind him, if anybody's behind him, and he's taken the corner option. Danger again for Everton.
Sonko eventually making his way forward. Cisse already well in there. Just a near post, Kitson far. Waiting for Hunt's delivery. And evades every Reading head, but not that of Phil Jagielka. Nancy underneath this. Awkward bounce to deal with for the Reading skipper.
And the crowd here at Goodison are desperate to get behind the side and urge them onto the win, but really only the inspirational run from James Vaughan that's given them anything to shout about in this half.
Johnson battling to get there first. He's won a corner off Khalifa Cisse. The last home goal in the Premier League against Manchester City came from a corner, which Julian Lescott swept home in the end. His delivery is a deep one, and it was James Vaughan who got up to meet it in the end. Everton's best opportunities really have come from those.
Well, you see Hanneman gets caught under the ball here, and whether it's James Vaughan or Jagielka, they're both closing in on the ball. Good corner from Arteta, probably his best of the game so far, and it is James Vaughan. Just floated the ball over the goalkeeper onto the top of the net.
Vaughan did grab one Premier League goal this season against Birmingham City. That was another injury time goal. You wonder whether it will be a late show from Everton. It might have to be. Doyle making a move here for Reading again. Dug it out, Yobo away only as far as Harper. On the better of Cahill. Hunt coming in, and Howard having to hold on with Kitson's presence, certainly a concern. Another warning sign for Everton.
Well, it was a good opportunity for a good header of the ball. Great cross from Harper to the far post. And that man there, Hunt. You see here James Harper working in. It's taking the fullback Neville out of it. Well, it's a comfortable save in the end, but we don't really expect too many headers there from Stephen Hunt, sorry.
This is Lescott. Certainly it's becoming more of an end-to-end tussle at the moment. And past that hour mark, things beginning to open up. Jagielka will be in the mix again, as will Joe Yobo. Vaughan, who met the last one, close at hand as well. And it's guided behind by Khalifa Cisse, and Arteta can try again.
Well, I think that was young Vaughan as well, who's certainly made an impact since coming on.
Kitson meets it. Osman hoisting it in there, and Jagielka scores his first Premier League goal for Everton, and that much-needed breakthrough has arrived.
Well, the Reading players are looking to a man towards the linesman here, feeling that he must have been offside. You see the first header here from Kitson, and Reading come out clearing the box. Leon Osman floats the ball back in. Well, it's inconclusive, but what is conclusive is that Everton have taken the lead. And you do say to your players, when you come out marking, make sure that if you have to go back in there, you can. Certainly from the angle that we're looking at it, you can't tell for sure.
Well, if Everton have been on the right end of an incorrect offside decision, they may feel a little bit of justice done, but certainly Reading wouldn't see it that way. It's the man on the ball, Matejovski, who was the last man to come out there, and that's the only debate as to whether he was still in there by enough to play Jagielka on. But no firm conclusions at this point.
Well, if that's his contribution to the game, it's his only one up to now. Unfortunately, it's negative for Reading. And again, James Vaughan there smashing into a tackle with Ibrahima Sonko, man twice his size. We might see clearer here now. Leon Osman floating the ball back in. And yes, there's two out there. I think that it's well onside.
This is Osman. Johnson coming in. Struck the frame of the goal, and Arteta to retrieve. Well, the pressure really on Reading now. It's great feet from Arteta. And a great block too by Khalifa Cisse. Well, suddenly it really is blood and thunder stuff. It's Matyovski on the counter here for Reading. And Jagielka's outstretched boot, another crucial intervention from the goalscorer.
Well, congratulations there from Howard, who had a dangerous situation to deal with as the ball was played across him, but as you say, Jagielka, having been the hero at one end, now becomes the hero at the other end.
Kitson was certainly lurking there, wasn't he? To get on the end of it if Jagielka hadn't got in there. Is there a road back for Reading? Hunt's delivery, whole crowd scene in there. It was Cisse who got his head on the end of it.
Well, that was a vicious corner, heck of a corner, but Cisse's just gone up to make contact with the ball, not really head it, and comes off the top of his head and well too high.
Well, we're entering the final quarter of the match, and Everton on top.
See here, Osman crossing with his left foot, beats Hanneman, hits the bar and comes out. Could have been the second goal. Well, he's hardly threatened goal today, and this boy Long is certainly mobile, has a little bit of pace about him, gets around more, a similar player to Doyle.
Well, in his regular role as a substitute nowadays. Phil Neville has introduced the long throw. No, he'll use Arteta. Vaughan tries something spectacular and almost came off. Hanneman turning it to safety.
Well, there's the star of the half so far. Neville plays the ball across the box, controls it behind him, Vaughan, and an overhead kick which Hanneman palms out for a corner. Young man confirming all his promise.
Looking for Kebe, but Lescott might have picked that one off, but he hasn't. Jimmy Kebe on the surge. Oh, great block. Jagielka, almost as important as his goal.
Well, I think Jagielka's just confirmed his status as man of the match for Everton. Two saving tackles. You see, Lescott here misjudges unusually when Kebe is very direct. With the goal at his mercy, a great defensive tackle there from Jagielka.
Well, Reading mounting some pressure. They'll need a better delivery. They'll use Long. Oh, appeal for handball. Harper to hit! Just escapes that left-hand post.
Well, I think he's hit the outside of the post with this. You see the corner's flat, it comes in, but Long just hooks the ball back in. They're asking for a penalty, but it does hit the outside of the post and just wide. That's the look you get when you're down at the bottom struggling for points in a bad run. Would have been a very harsh penalty, and I think it's outside the box when it actually makes contact with Carsley anyway.
Now Johnson's on the surge here, and he can wrap it up. Well, he should have wrapped it up.
Ah, well, it just sums his luck up recently. He's never stopped working. You see Vaughan again has won his header against a much bigger man, done everything right to this point, taken it round the keeper and then just slotted it just wide.
Up goes Hunt.
And another effort goes over the bar, misses the top of the net this time, but game really fizzling out now for Reading. It looks so comfortable for so long, but it's cruel. When you're down there, it's cruel. One mistake, one lack of defensive organisation, and they've probably lost this game.
Well, I make it a minute. Everton have to hold on. Long putting Phil Neville under some pressure, but Didn't have much room for manoeuvre. Shorey stealing in. Making good progress here, the fullback. Still willing to battle. Try and pick something up. He'll get a corner. Maybe last chance for Reading.
Shorey showing the adventure that's caught the eye of other Premiership clubs. In fact, there were rumours that he would leave in the window, and you see Hanneman here coming up.
I remember Peter Schmeichel scoring here for Aston Villa a few years back. Right across the face, Kebe and Cisse both going for it. Hanneman staying up.
You know, that's a great chance. That was a great chance to head the ball back into play there.
And now Hanneman is nowhere. Well, they're appealing for handball there, and they'll get a free kick against Murty. And Hanneman is rather relieved, let's say.
Well, there was a chance there for Kebe from the corner. He had a free header, but hopelessly ducked under the ball, and that realistically was Reading's last chance.
Well, we've had more than the 3 extra minutes. Mark Hulsey will surely be whistle in mouth very shortly. It's a victory for Everton. It's a 7th straight defeat for Reading in the Premier League. It's a vital 3 points for David Moyes, extending their unbeaten run to 6 games and extending their grip in the chase for 4th place. Phil Jagielka's goal, as the Reading offside trap was caught out, the decisive factor, and Everton march on. The final score, Everton 1, Reading 0.
David, sometimes you have to grind it out. Was today one of those occasions?
Nah, not half. It wasn't that pretty. It was extremely ugly for a lot of it. But I have to give Reading credit. You know, they're fighting to try and stay in the division, and they made it hard for us right to the end. But in the end we got the goal, and I think it was deserved, because I think we just shaded it on chances in the second half.
And the goal definitely onside by Phil Jagielka.
Yeah, this week it was given. It was onside last week and it was onside this week, but this time it was given.
And you take it from any source, Phil Jagielka obviously getting his first Premier League goal this season.
Yeah, we can. And not only did he score a terrific header, which was, you know, it took a bit of doing to get it back across the goal and lob it in. He made a sort of saving tackle as well when it looked as if there were a certainty to equalise.
How much difference did the introduction of James Vaughan make to your performance today?
I thought he made a big difference. I thought he gave us a bit of life. The conditions didn't really allow us to pass the ball around. The pitch is terrible at the moment, and I think it can only be next to Wiggins, I think, at the moment. So it didn't encourage us to get the ball down. It made it very difficult. But no excuses. We had to try and do something about it. We put Vonnie on up front, and he certainly likes.
It does give you a little bit of chink of daylight, I suppose, particularly above Liverpool this weekend, doesn't it? I mean, how important is that from a psychological point of view?
Well, I've really tried not to think about anybody else's results at the moment, because you know, the competition up there is very tough, as I've said before. All we can do is try and win our games. We've got a good points tally at the moment, and we're going to try and keep adding to that.
Is there any chance of a quick return for Yakubu?
Well, it's something which I'll deal with the club. Everybody's well aware of the situation, and you know, we made that decision and we stand by it, and you know, we'll wait and see.
One goal enough to give Everton the win and to push Reading into the bottom.